Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of IICIE Insights. And today, I'm honored to have Jess Tiffany with me. Jess is a globally renowned marketeer, speaker, and author. He is an Amazon International best-selling author. He's also written articles for Huffington Post, Six Figure Coach, and Authority Magazine. So, Jess, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, EJ. I appreciate it.
Let's begin with getting to know you a little bit more. Can you give our viewers more details on your background and the path you took to reach here?
Wow. Yeah, we can sure do that. So I'm originally from North Dakota, which is a state here in the very north of the United States. It's very cold this time of year. And now I'm in Minneapolis, which is also cold, but not as cold as North Dakota. I joke that I moved here for the warm weather, but it's still super cold here. Yeah, I guess if you want to go way back, when I was about 10 or 12, I conned the pastor's wife to let me walk around with holding a pink bag of Avon products and giving it to the old ladies, and the old ladies just give me money all the time. So I really enjoyed that, and then I got into sales that way, and then you fast forward years and years. Been doing sales and marketing pretty much my whole life. Right now, we run a full-service digital marketing agency, and but our focus really is on LinkedIn marketing. That's what my bestseller is about, is LinkedIn marketing. And we also published over 200 books, so we do book publishing and that sort of stuff for a lot of clients. Kind of reputation management / getting becoming prolific and becoming an expert online. So that's kind of the main things we help people with now. So
awesome. So that means you understand the pain points that company face in order to increase their sales. If you've been in sales and marketing throughout your life and you've enabled companies to do that, what are those pain points?
Well, that obviously varies depending on the company and things, but typically I would say one of the biggest thing is just people, people don't obscurity. I guess I'd say obscurity. People don't know that you exist. They don't know your business exists. They don't know where to find you. They're not top of mind. So one of the biggest things is you need about 7 to 20 touches now, they say, before you start building a level of trust. And we need to be able to be consistent with that, build that trust. And so really pointing out the obscurity and fixing that problem makes a big difference for a lot of businesses.
I think you've hit it on the head, and especially in the days of the connected environment which we live in right now, where everyone is on the internet and there's no human touch points. So I think in that case, it becomes even more challenging.
Yeah, I agree. Personal interactions, and I think that's why a lot of people are really getting into the LinkedIn stories and the Instagram stories and the more authenticity. Really, it used to be really big on kind of fake it till you make it. Look like you're amazing with no vulnerabilities at all. And now it's more about admitting that you have vulnerabilities and building those relationships and really portraying that you're a human being, and that's a good way to separate yourself from other people that are just flashing their brand signs out there and showing you their logo. If you can show them the human side, it makes a big impact.
That's really interesting because I don't think many marketeers actually say that. Like I've come across a lot of marketeers who always talk about that being that bright shiny object out there, but enabling that human touch, enabling that background where you are so much connected with others and enabling that trust and authenticity, that's amazing.
Yeah, and there's a caveat or however you want to look at it. You do need kind of a hard hitting entry point. So like you've seen some of those commercials where they have talking babies and it's like that has nothing to do with anything, but it gets people enough kind of like, what the heck is that, to pause and engage with the content. So there is a little bit of shiny squirrel type of stuff that you have to get people to initially like look at your ad or your commercial or whatever. But really, that's not going to connect. There has to be more than just that. you have to have that, that human interaction, especially when you're growing on social media. People want to know you as a person, not just, how flashy your products are.
Definitely. So you do focus a lot on LinkedIn. So first of all, tell me why LinkedIn, and what is there in LinkedIn which makes it so important?
LinkedIn by far is the best social media platform for B2B business connections and building relationships. And so that's why I focused on that. My other company is an education company, and I was trying to find, how do I get a hold of this, influencer? How do I get a hold of this CEO of this Fortune 500 company? And so I tweeted at people, and I ran some Facebook ads to those people, and different things like that. And I wasn't really getting the traction I wanted. And when I really engaged with LinkedIn, it's literally, you can send a message to almost anybody on the planet that happens to be on LinkedIn. And so if you can engage with those people and create a little bit of curiosity and start a conversation, then the world opens up to you. You don't have to worry about gatekeepers or anything. You just go straight to that person, and you find something in common, something relatable to that person, and you reach out and say, hey, I see we both went to the same university, and man, that'd be pretty cool, to catch up with an old alumni, or whatever that common pieces you have in common with that person. And then you build on that. And then, of course, you try to start a conversation, and hopefully a lot of times it can lead to business.
You're actually saying that personal branding on LinkedIn can be used by companies to generate leads.
Absolutely. A lot of leads. Yeah.
So how would one build a personal brand on LinkedIn?
Oh, great question. So in my on my LinkedIn marketing cheat sheet that I have, I use an acronym called POP, but it's basically being professional, what opportunities you present, and what problems you solve. And if you can incorporate that throughout your LinkedIn profile, it basically creates kind of a magnetic effect to draw people to you. Now, I do a lot of outreach also, but the most powerful leads are the ones that come to you for free, because they already are searching for what you offer, or what problem they have the problem you're trying to solve for them, and they come to you. But if you can have professional, photography, when in your profile, you kind of, tell a story about you and where you came from and what problems you can solve for people, and become relatable to that person. It basically just draws them in. They read it. They go, wow, this is the person I need to solve my problem. And then they reach out to you. And, obviously it's easy to close that business because they're already looking for you.
Very nice. I think the entrepreneurs out there, as you know, IICIE focuses on innovation and entrepreneurship. So the entrepreneurs listening out there, I think they can start using LinkedIn to build their own business. You're talking about maybe larger business right now, but does that also apply to startups?
Yeah, I would say it's actually probably is even more powerful for a startup because they only have to worry about their personal brand, and maybe a couple handful of employees. Now there are some extra tools. So you can start a company page, and you can also have what's called a showcase page to highlight individual products within your company. And so as you're with your company, it's good to have those multiple pages to also bring additional eyeballs to your company and bring awareness. But then if you can also take all your employees and have them market and brand for themselves and the company at the same time. Now, obviously you can't force them because it's their profile. They do own it as an individual, but you can incentivize or encourage people to basically have, maybe certain colors on their, color schemes in the background, or, a tagline in their headline or something that basically allows more eyeballs to see the company brand. And then we, hopefully bring it back to your website or somewhere else to do business with you.
I'm learning so much over here already. I've been using LinkedIn since ages, and I thought I have a good personal brand on LinkedIn, but already I'm learning new things like working with your employees to get noticed on LinkedIn as a company. That's
Yeah.
definitely something very interesting. Can you give just a few other LinkedIn tips to our
Sure.
listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. One they took away just recently because of COVID, but it was one of my favorites. So I'll tell you anyway, because they'll bring it back after COVID, I think. But it was basically on your smartphone. on the app, you could literally, like, so say you're leading a speaking engagement or something. You could literally open up your phone and say, hey, everybody, pull out your phone, go to your LinkedIn app, and then you click on Find Nearby, and then you hit a little blue plus, and there's a button that says Find Nearby. Sorry, you hit My Connections, and then the plus, and then Find Nearby. And basically, you would turn your Bluetooth on, and everybody in the room that was on the same page at the same time could all connect to each other right there in one spot. And so that was an amazing tool they had. So I'd walk into an event and I'd walk out with 30 plus new connections in a matter of 2 minutes of walking people through it. So it was a pretty awesome tool.
Wow, yeah. I mean, that, like, you go to a networking event and you maybe meet 5, 10, 15 people, but if you can engage with a number of people out there in that networking event, that would be very useful.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. If you do have events, LinkedIn has a new thing called events. I guess it's not that new, but it's fairly new. And basically, you're allowed to go in there, create an event, and then you can invite people in your network individually. And it basically shows up like a connection request, and the people can say yes or no to come to your event. And that's a really cool tool. Another one is on the LinkedIn app, you can go in and you can do what's called kudos. And you can actually pick out an individual and say, hey, thank you. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. And you can really helps with kind of building, rapport and really making that person feel good. So that's kind of a neat little trick. Get a little brownie points with the people in your organization. I got a lot more, but you just let me know what you need.
No, I think now I know why your book is an international bestseller on Amazon. And I do want to mention the book. It's called Growth Hacking, Strategically Grow Your Business Connections from 0 to 10,000 in 365 days. Correct?
Yes.
And so tell us about your book. When did you write it? When did you put it on Amazon? How long has it been there?
Yeah. Well, so I think it's been out a year and a half, somewhere in that ballpark. The end was, I think, end of December of 2018, I believe, is when we launched that. There's a lot of new stuff, so I'm planning on redoing a revision here soon. But it's a great book about my journey from going from 0 basically to 10,000 connections in less than a year. Kind of the steps I took. There's unique ways to source emails to connect to other people. So like, say you want to break into a company like Microsoft, you don't have any connections there, you can literally go out to like hunter.io and type in microsoft.com and get a list of about 15, 20 different email addresses for free, grab those, copy, paste, and then you go into your LinkedIn, into your invite by email option, and you can paste those in there, hit send, and then you just, you hope, 3, 4, 5 of them connect out of 15. And then you go back and say, hey, by the way, who's the person in charge of HR over at your office? And basically what happens is that person say his name is Joe, and he says, oh, you need to talk to Sue. And then you go to Sue and go, hey, Sue, hey, this is Jess. You don't know me, but Joe said you're the right person to talk to is about HR. Is that right? And then they go, yes. And then they go, wow, Joe recommended you. I better talk to you. So you kind of get this inferred referral. But there's all kinds of tricks you can do to grow your business. It also teaches you who to target. Typically, I say, who's your ideal client, who's your dream client, who's your dream mentor, who are the people you want to hire over the next 5 to 10 years, so that you proactively connect to your future employees now before you need them, so that when there's a employee crunch, you already have relationships with those people, and you just say, hey, by the way, we have an opening, come fill it. So anyway, and and then who's your your dream mentors. That's why I'm connected to 3 or 4 billionaires and hundreds of CEOs from Fortune 500 companies and a lot of big names that are household names. So you just kind of, everybody's network is going to be different based on who you need to connect to grow your company. But for me, it was kind of the high level executive people.
Your book should be compulsory reading for all startup 101 courses, for all corporate business courses. I think today many people don't understand effective communication. They don't understand effective networking, and especially effective online networking. Totally amazing, and definitely it's a must to learn.
Thank you.
Do you want to mention any other tools, online tools, which might be helpful to our
See,
audience?
yeah, as far as if you have a whole stack of business cards at home, you can use Evernote business card scanner, and you can scan the card, and then if the emails match the LinkedIn, then a little button will pop up, and you can just hit the button and then find their LinkedIn profile and connect to them. That's a tool. There's a tool called Resume Worded, or oh, don't quote me on that. I think it's Resume Worded, but basically it uses AI to analyze your LinkedIn profile and or a resume. It'll do either or both. And it'll give you a lot of good tips on maximizing the, more for the search engine optimization type stuff, using AI. So it's kind of a neat little tool. It's not, it doesn't give you the human feel or anything, but it is pretty good at kind of helping you with maybe some keyword ideas and things like that. Those are the main ones to use. I try to stay away from automation, as LinkedIn does frown on that and can put you in LinkedIn jail or just totally shut down your account. So having 27,000 connections, it's too big of a risk for me to do that. So I'm not interested in that personally, but there are tools out there that people can use to automate some functions of LinkedIn. So
Totally agreed. Yeah, I actually also I think it defeats the purpose automation because you do want to have human touch, right? You do want to have that interaction, and that's the whole authenticity and trust, as you mentioned.
there is one new thing LinkedIn just put in, I want to say maybe 3 months ago, and it is an away message. So you can, and it doesn't work on new connections as they're connecting to you, but it works on people that are reaching out to you to have a conversation. And basically you just say, hey, I'm going to be away for the, like an email away button in email. It basically says, hey, I'm going to be away from the office for the next couple hours. I'll catch up with you later in the day, or whatever message you want to say in there. But it's kind of a neat little thing, just so people get something back to say, hey, we talked, or I got your message, but I'm busy, so I'll talk to you a little bit later. So it's kind of a nice tool.
Lots of interesting stuff over there. I do want to ask you about our listeners, our entrepreneurs. Focus on content. You've written about 200 books and articles, and you are also a noted author. Do you think our entrepreneurs who are listening should consider that? And if yes, is it a huge challenge?
So I will say I published 200 books. I didn't write them all, just so I don't get in trouble by somebody. So, but
Sure.
no, I have written my own books. So yes, I absolutely think one of the most important things you can do is write a book, and that's why we focus on that to help you. On my tagline is we help executives become online superstars in 90 days, and part of that process is at least getting started on writing a book. And the big thing about that is that it offers credibility. When somebody Googles your name, it's typically the first or second up there, right up there with LinkedIn. Sometimes it even surpasses LinkedIn on the search engine optimization. It offers credibility. It helps you get speaking opportunities because people realize you are most likely an expert in that. And as far as getting back to it, I'm actually a slow typer, and I literally for 2 years was gonna write a book, but I didn't do it. And the reason was because I'd start typing, and then I'd be like, read the sentence, and then then I delete it, and then I retype it a different way and retype. And I just kind of got this process of not actually making any progress. And so one day I remembered, hey, 2 years ago, I bought this Dragon Naturally Speaking software at Best Buy or wherever it was. And so I installed it on my computer. I went through all the tutorials. I memorized all the commands, and then I just started. And within 2 hours, I think I had gotten over 5,000 words because I just made an outline of everything I wanted to talk about. It's all in my head, and I just started spitting it out. And then I came back afterwards after I had all that put together, and then I could edit it and fix the run-on sentences and fix the extra ums and extra stuff in there. And it really made, for me, that made all the difference in the world to do that. Now, other people, what they might want to do is say you have written a blog for the last 4 years. Well, you find 15 or 20 different blogs that are related to each other. You basically put them together, and then you bridge the gaps. So you take chapter 1 of this blog, and then you link it into whatever this topic is, and you basically build these bridges together, and then you compile it, edit it, get good graphics and stuff added, and then you have a book.
Very nice, very nice. Actually, I am on chapter 10 of my book on automotive
Oh,
cybersecurity,
nice.
and I must get your guidance when I complete it, because I know that you can help me out over there.
Yeah,
So definitely you'll have one call from me on that one.
awesome. Yeah, the average author only sells about 250 books, which is really sad. But if you work hard and you work with somebody like in my position that's a marketer, if we can get you up to like a USA Today level bestseller or a Wall Street Journal, then you start selling 6, 7, 8,000 books a week. It's a big difference. But those marketing campaigns obviously are much more expensive.
Of course. So I think that you've touched on an important point. To succeed as an author, it's not only about writing the book, it's much more than that.
Yeah. You gotta get it in front of people.
And come out as someone who actually is a subject matter expert and whose book is being recognized by various publications.
Just the fact that you wrote a book puts you above most other speakers and folks out there. But if it also has a title like bestseller, international bestseller, or whatever it is, it puts you up even one more notch. Just writing a book, amazing feat, good job. You should be proud of yourself. But if you can, do some marketing and push it and get a title with it, it's even better.
That's awesome. I think that's definitely something which entrepreneurs should consider. And I think they should start writing a book when they open their startup. Like this should go together, because the first year or so, it's all about developing the product and understanding your market. At the same time, if you can write a book and become a subject matter expert on that, that would just help enhance your startup.
Yeah. And one thing that might sound a little bit obscure, but sometimes there's companies that just can't get to the first page of Google because there's too much competition. But we can come around the backside, have you write a book, and the title has the keyword in it, and you'll be number 1, number 2 usually in the list, and then people can go look, and if they go look and see your bio, then they'll go to then they can know what your company is, and then possibly get back to you. So it's a way to kind of usurp the Google algorithm a little bit by leveraging Amazon's power in your favor.
Yes, this is so interesting. It's like I can go on and on this one. I'm learning so much over here, and I'm already thinking, okay, I need to do this. But I want to finish on something different. I want to ask you, what gives you personal satisfaction? So obviously you've had lots of successes in your life, but what gives just Tiffany most happiness and contentment?
I would say now in my life, it's my wife and kids and spending time with them. And I'm actually very focused on finding ways to leverage what I've created to actually free up more time now. Before it was kind of all about building the company, and now it's about how to get the company working without me, and being able to invest that time back into the kids. So I got 13 down to 7. Actually, 7. She just had a birthday a couple days ago. So
Happy birthday to her.
Yeah, she's a cutie. And but anyway, I got 3 girls and 1 boy, and that's my why and my joy. At least nowadays. Before it was different. When I was younger, it was money or cars or whatever I could think of, but whatever motivated me back then. But that stuff's not very important to me anymore, to be honest. It's more about time and family. So.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. One has to focus on the important things in life, and one has to know what are those important things, because that's what life is all about, right? Those important things.
I agree. Yeah, that's definitely my joy. So
that's great. Jess, it has been a pleasure to have you here. I really appreciate your time, and I really want to implement all of the things which you have said, I think my next book buy on Amazon is your book, and I'll take it from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Appreciate you having me.